hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. You would think this weekend that we were after heading out to the Wild Atlantic Way, but instead we came down to the sunny southeast here in Wexford, but it's not that nice, the weather. So we're here in a place called Norman View. So this site is about a kilometre and a half away from Fethard-on-Sea village, and we're in between two beaches called Bagan Bun and Carnival, and we're approximately 12 kilometres from Hook Head. So we're going to head from here down to town, get a few messages, and we'll give you a look at the little village as we're going through.
We getting any scoopies?
There's always scoopies. Always scoopies.
Two scoopies.
Two scoopies.
So our walk down to the town, guys, brings us out the gate and turn right. It's about a kilometre downhill towards the town. You get to the sign there, Bagan Bun Head, back the way we came, and Fethard the way we're going. This little junction here, the right turn brings you down to Fethard Quay, where we spent many a time back in the noughties there, holidaying with Abby's mother and father. A steep decline down here to the bridge, and then we have a steep incline into the village that is Fethard-on-Sea. Plenty of shops, a couple of pubs, a few takeaways, basically everything you need to sustain yourself while you're down here on holidays. Lovely little place. So this is a town that Abby and I had the pleasure of doing a triathlon about 4 years ago. At this stage now. Try the Hook was the name of the triathlon. It started off in Bagan Bun, just back the road about a kilometre and a half. Abby had the good fortune of finishing second overall that day. A fantastic race, only to be pipped in the last 500 metres by a speed merchant coming through to take her on. I myself was well down the field, however I did take the winning prize for the 50 to 54 age group. Both of us won a nice little stay down here, which we never took part in, unfortunately, so that was another couple of vouchers that went down to Swanee, unfortunately for us. Two scoopies, guys. Thank you very much.
So I hope the wind isn't too bad and you can hear me here on the DJI Mini. We're just heading into Fethard Harbour here now. This is where myself and Claire as children, this is where our holiday was. We absolutely loved it here. Dad would have the little speedboat out. We'd go out fishing with the lads. He'd drop myself, Mum and Claire off, and we just spend our summers of a few locations down here in Fethard, but this was definitely one of our favourite to go to places. So it's just a little harbour, a few trawlers in it, nothing major, but absolutely lovely, really private, as you can see. A couple of boats around. Even myself and Co brought Nicole, Tanya and Gary on their holidays, believe it or not, down onto this location, and we've pictures from years ago with the kids, and they used to love to come down here. It's the area that we would come down to, and we would just play here, making our sandcastles and just having great childhood memories here. Right, so I just headed back from the harbour, and on the way back we had an option to go left, which would bring me back to the motor home to have a cup of tea, or turn right, which led to me ending up in a pub, of course, and I bumped into this guy, and we're having 2 pints, 2 different types of scoopies now. So, happy days.
Always room for 2 scoopies. So this area is known as Bagan Bun Head. If you come out of the campsite and take a left turn, about 1 kilometre down the road, you come to this little crossroad here. You take a left turn, that'll bring you down to Bagan Bun Beach, and the right turn will bring you to Carnival Beach. 2 gorgeous little beaches, but 2 very different in the fact that Bagan Bun is sheltered while the other one is open to the sea elements, but both of them are part of the Atlantic Ocean. We're going to head down now to the second beach we were talking about yesterday. This one is known as Carnival. Bagan Bun is on the opposite side, and then you have Bagan Bun Head right behind me here. You can see there back over towards the opposite side, you might see in the distance a couple of caravans or motorhomes parked up there. Just doing a bit of wild camping, I would presume, not unless they're going to move on later on tonight. And then back behind me again, you can see Hook Head in the distance, which from normal view is probably about 10 or 12 kilometres thereabouts by road. We're probably going to head out that way on Monday just for a visit out there, just to see what it's like again. Very windy today, that's why we're heading down to Carnival Beach. We're not going to get out the surfboard. Maybe get that out tomorrow if the wind dies down a little bit. So this is the beach in all its glory. A lovely beach on a day like today, which you can appreciate that on other days when the wind is coming from an opposite direction. You'd be fairly battered here. As a result, there are signs around the place saying no swimming, but it doesn't really deter the brave. I'm one for obeying signs. Most of the time anyway.
Stop eating the sand.
Erosion has a big part to play in how our landscape looks. It happens every day. I was just wondering, when did this happen? Definitely not 100 years ago, that's for sure. Sit. Good boy.
Oh, what conversations myself and Co are having at the moment. New development. Co buying a one-way ticket to Spain for September. Me going out for a month with him. Him staying there, obviously, and me coming back. I nice coming with us and nice staying out there. Me and Brandy and Kim remaining in Ireland until February. Kim may be heading back in, or heading over, not heading back I suppose after a holiday in January. Exciting times, crazy times. We know it's coming and we know it has to happen. If I had the opportunity to go to Spain, I'd be gone in the morning. Thankfully our relationship is good, it's strong, so like lots of people, because we're in the military, go overseas and spend 6 months, 7 months away from each other. So what's a couple of weeks really, because I'd be able to hit a lot of weekends away over in Spain to break up the time. So extremely exciting sitting here looking at ferries. Jealous much.
When you come down to the bottom of the campsite, this is what greets you. Fantastic views of the Atlantic Ocean looking over towards Wexford. In the far distance there you can see both islands that make up the Salty Islands. On the right hand side you have Great Salty, and on the left hand side you have Little Salty. Occupied up to about 100 years ago, and apparently they are privately owned by the Neary family or the Neely family, something like that, since 1943. Both of them together measure 1.5 square kilometres. And then on the right hand side we're looking back towards Bagan Bun Head, and we'll tell you the story about the Normans that arrived there in 1170 later on in the video. Three hours later. This is the Supboard on its maiden voyage, and the quieter of the two beaches, Carnival. Not confident enough to stand up on it yet, and I'm certainly not confident to go on it. She's going for a stand up. I would be in the water by now, no doubt about it. That was short-lived. Sure if this pillar here would have had some sort of a light function on it at some stage, but there was certainly something attached to the top of it anyway. It's not there now. But this is Bagan Bun Head. Over there you see Marello Tower. It's privately owned and people do live in it. Caused a lot of outrage here a few years ago when they blocked off the path that brings you up to this area. They said they did it because of antisocial behaviour and littering, which is fair enough. So that's the tower a little bit closer up. Don't think I can go any further because you are entering private property, so I don't want to particularly annoy anybody off. Incidentally, Marello Tower has nothing got to do with the history around here, apart from the fact that that was built back in 1810. It was long before that when the Normans landed here in 1170 in 2 boats, and I think that's where they got the name of the beach, Bagan Bun, that we showed you earlier on in the video. Both of the ships that the Normans arrived here on were called Le Bag and Le Bun, so the story goes anyway. Obviously the Irish weren't too happy that they set up camp up here. The Irish tried to storm them, but the Normans ended up winning that one, And apparently, so the story goes as well, that of the 70 Irish that were killed, they were either beheaded or their legs were taken off them and they were thrown over the cliffs. I'd like to think I was dead before I got thrown off these cliffs anyway. You can see in the distance there again, Great Salty on the right hand side and Little Salty on the left hand side. Beautiful area, lovely and calm today. And looking back over towards Hook Lighthouse. Okay guys, welcome to the Hook Peninsula, home of the Hook Lighthouse, which you can see behind us. It has the accolade of being the oldest working lighthouse in the world. There is a beacon here since the 5th century, however this tower was built 800 years ago by the son-in-law of Strongbow, and his name is William Marshall, also regarded as one of the greatest knights who ever lived. 115 steps lead you to the top of the tower, and the walls are up to 4 meters thick in some places. Monks lived here until 1641. The lighthouse itself was converted to electricity back in 1972, and then another 24 years later it was when it went automatic, and to this day it is still a working lighthouse.
Yeah, Hook is a great place to come out to do wild camping. Just off to the edge where we're parked up at the moment, you could easily get, what was it, they were saying there was 90 motorhomes out here at one stage. Yeah. Just as the lockdown was open, as caravan sites were closed. So yeah, it was a great spot, and it has a restaurant in it, so you can have a nice cup of tea and coffee, which we're going to head off and have in the next couple of minutes.
We've already had our 2 scoopies.
Yes, Gemma, we had our 2 scoopies, they were lovely. Yeah, so tea and coffee today because it's a little bit cool. Shorts on with a hat and jacket.
Only in Ireland.
Only in Ireland.
Unfortunately, when we got to Loftus Hall, it was actually closed. Apparently it's been on the market now for a few months. I think the asking price is 2.6 million, so if anybody out there has a little bit of a business head on their shoulders, this would be a fantastic opportunity for anybody to take on it to its former glory of Ireland's most haunted house.
Okay, so everybody, that's us done in Wexford for this weekend. We spent 3 nights down in Norman View. We had a little look around Bagan Bun, Carnival, the village of Fethard-on-Sea, out to Hook and Loftus Hall.
Thanks very much for watching, guys. Please don't forget to give us a like, a subscribe, and don't be afraid to leave an old comment there and let us know what we're doing or what we need to do or what you'd like to see us do. Until the next time, see you out and about.